Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hopeful Podcast with Thomas Bailey. I'm your host as always, and this is my face. Crazy, but I'm super excited to be here with you today doing a video podcast. So please let me know how it goes in the comments and what you think, sound-wise, video-wise, as it's my first go. So I appreciate your feedback. With that, let's jump right into the Come Follow Me for the week, which is section 29 of the Doctrine and Covenants, and we're specifically going to be focusing on how all things are created spiritual. And I liked this topic because it opened my eyes to something that I hadn't thought about before, in the sense of, we read in the scriptures in the Bible, right, that all things are created spiritually first, but I never thought about commandments that way. And that's what this section kind of focuses on, is the commandments. So as an easy example, as I've been pondering and thinking about this, right, let's go with thou shalt not steal, right? Many of us, and myself included, that's a very temporal thing, right? Oh yeah, we're not going to steal somebody else's stuff. That's bad. Don't do that. But it's also a spiritual thing, right? When you steal, when you harm someone else, that hurts your spirit and it hurts their spirit. It's a spiritual commandment. It's the impact on the spirits is more of the impact on that temporal material thing that you took or that was taken from you, right? That impact on your spirit is far superior to anything else that's happening. And I think that that's something so remarkable that I've especially glossed over before. And I wanted to read this verse. So this is Doctrine and Covenants, section 29, verse 32. First spiritually, second temporally, which is the beginning of my work. And again, first temporal and second spiritual, which is the last of my work. This is verse 33 now. Speaking unto you that ye may naturally understand, but unto myself my works have no end, neither beginning. But it is given unto you that ye may understand, because ye have asked it of me, and are agreed. This is 34 now. Wherefore verily I say unto you that all things unto me are spiritual, and not at any time have I given unto you a law which was temporal, neither any man, nor the children of men, neither Adam your father, whom I created. And then finally verse 35 here. Behold, I gave unto him that he should be an agent unto himself, and I gave unto him commandment, but no temporal commandment gave I unto him, for my commandments are spiritual. They are not natural nor temporal, neither carnal nor sensual. And this really stuck out to me this week. Just thinking about the fact that all things are created spiritually first, like I mentioned, right? And that the commandments are included in that. That's something I never thought about before. So there might be a commandment that you maybe are struggling keeping, right? There's other commandments besides the 10 commandments, and maybe even some of the 10 you struggle with. I don't know. I don't know your personal situation or what's going on in your life. And that's okay, because Jesus Christ does, right? But my point being, when we're struggling with something, even if it's more of those just being kind in general things, or maybe you struggle holding grudges, right? Maybe you struggle using nice words, like those simple things that we learn as kids, that you should treat people with respect and kindness. Even if we're struggling with those things, they're spiritual first. So going back to my example at the beginning, right? Kindness has a bigger impact on our spirits than it does on just our temporal physical being. And now don't get me wrong, it hurts. I'm not saying that, but why does it hurt, right? And that's what I got into thinking about this week is, why does it hurt when someone is rude to me? Or why does it hurt me when I'm rude to someone else? You know, why do I feel the need to apologize? And it's so spiritual. And like I said, just never thought about this before. And so that's why I wanted to share this episode with you today is, have you thought about that before? Like, what commandment are you struggling with? Let's go back to that kindness example that I've been using here. You know, when was the last time that you got angry or upset at somebody? You know, think about that time, and then think about the impact that it had on you temporally, but then dive deeper. What impact did that have on you spiritually? What impact did that have on them spiritually? And why was it such a big deal? You know, I think that a lot of things in life get blown up and are big and are exaggerated. And a big portion of that is because of the world that we live in, meaning, right, everything has to be big and better and grandeur, but it doesn't. And so if we remember that these small little things are also spiritual things, it makes them bigger. It makes them stronger. It makes them have a bigger impact. And so, though we might not look at it that way at first, and I didn't, and that's why I wanted to share this today, is because I didn't look at it that way. But now I'm starting to go, oh, hold up. When I've been asked to pay my tithing, that's a big one for members of the Church Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And for other faiths as well, there's something similar to tithing. And so, if not the same. And so, like, that can be a big one for some people. And that's one that, I know people that have struggled with that. I've struggled with it myself on and off. On and on. What is it? Off and on? Oh my gosh. But I'm realizing, even looking back on those moments, that I did struggle, and maybe will struggle in the future, if I put the spiritual perspective in first, right? Why am I doing this? Okay, well, I want a better relationship with Jesus Christ. So yeah, it takes away that physical thing. You could look at it taking away that money that I earned, but in reality, if all things are God's first anyway, then it's just a gift to me. And so giving that back becomes less of a burden and more of a joy. And then when I tie in that, oh, it's a spiritual commandment, then I better understand that, oh yeah, there's a purpose that's deeper than maybe what I can understand on why I need to do this. And I'm just grateful for that opportunity. And so I hope this brought some deeper meaning into your life, that when you're thinking about a commandment and maybe you're struggling with it, or someone that's struggling with it and they've asked for your advice, or if you're in a situation where you're able to provide advice and they're willingly accepting it, maybe sit down with them or with yourself and say, how can I apply this spiritually? Because this commandment is spiritual. Once again, that last verse in section 29, behold, I gave unto him that he should be an agent unto himself, and I gave unto him commandment, but no temporal commandment gave I unto him, for my commandments are spiritual, right? So that's my invitation for you this week, is that you go and you think of the commandment, like I said, that you're struggling with, or maybe even one that you're good at. It doesn't always have to be an improvement, guys. I feel like in life, all of us feel like, oh, we have to improve. And it's true. We do 1% each day, but we also do things well, and we can apply these lessons to what we're doing well. So what's a commandment you're good at even? You could ponder that. What's a commandment you're like, yes, I've never really struggled with this, but let me think about that spiritually and the impact it has on my spirit. And that is a great learning lesson as well. So I hope that you all have a wonderful week, a great rest of your day today whenever you're listening to this. Hope that you have some peace, and God bless.